Hi, everybody. This is Kristin Taylor, and I'm here with one of my clients and friends, Debra. She is
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
Debra is a textile designer living in London, and we're just having a chat today about how Debra met her husband, which is a really wonderful story, and I'm so excited to share it with all of you. So, Debra, we've known each other a while. We've known each other, I don't even know how long.
How many years now?
I don't know.
I don't know. That's quite a while, though. 7 years? 7 or 8 years?
Yeah, a long time. I think longer than that.
Longer, maybe
how
longer.
Long? You were married 7 or 8 years ago, and I knew you before that.
Yes, 10.
So probably over 10.
Wow.
Yeah. So we met at my old art studio in Streatham, and your old art studio. I think you left there as well.
Yeah.
When you were working there doing your textile design, and I was doing my visual art because I'm a painter as well, a spiritual artist, as well as the other thing I do, which is energy healing and working with angels. So I met you.
It was freezing there, wasn't it?
It was so cold.
It's freezing.
It's like torture art.
That was like the hardest time I've ever worked doing my textiles there.
All bundled up. So yeah, I remember when I met you, you were distressed. You were having some issues. You had a lovely life as well, but you were having some really, issues that were quite unmanageable in addition to the cold studio.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're reminding me of it because I'm in such a happier place now. It's hard to cast my mind back to that time when I was feeling quite desperate at times.
Well, that's okay. I'm so pleased that you're happy now. We'll just talk a little bit about where you've come from so everyone can hear your journey and really be pleased for you.
Yeah.
So you were, at that time, you were wanting to meet a man. You were looking for love.
Yeah.
And,
so I was looking to, I was just about to dip into doing internet dating, like mainly because quite a few of my friends were doing it and talking about how great it was to just almost check out your worth, because I felt quite unconfident at the time because I'd just been at home looking after children.
You had 2 children then?
I had 2 young children. Yeah, so that was fine. On that front, it was really nice because I had like a nice amount of time with just me and the children, and they saw their dad, and we had it was quite nice, the bonding aspect of that. But it was all a bit of a struggle, and I was ready to meet somebody else and find love again, really.
And if I remember correctly, you were having some low self-esteem, and you were attracting the wrong kind of men, and you were also having some financial difficulties as well, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Well, my last relationship had been tricky. So yeah, I just needed to meet somebody like kind and positive, and somebody that I could just share my life with in a good way. For once, I wanted to change the type of person that I was meeting. Mm-hmm. So we discussed that, didn't we?
We did. Yeah.
We discussed that how I could go about changing the patterns that I always set up for myself and what we could do. So you suggested actually writing down qualities.
We wrote down qualities, and also we spoke about how whatever you're creating or whatever you're attracting is what's inside you. So
like the law of attraction.
We did some work on your self-esteem and how you were seeing yourself, and also believing it was possible, because if I remember correctly, you didn't really think it was possible then.
I actually really didn't think it was possible. I actually thought that I could only go backwards. I didn't believe that there would be somebody new out there for me. I really was stuck on that, wasn't I? I remember that.
You were really stuck on that, and you just thought it's over. I remember
I had 2 children.
So you thought, I'm done. This is the story.
Well, I thought nobody would actually want to be in a relationship with me with 2 children. I just couldn't. I really couldn't see that. I was really blocked. I've been living probably in quite an enclosed little world, but I didn't actually realise there's lots of people that have got children that go on to have happy relationships. So I felt very unconfident about everything, really.
Yeah, I remember that. And I remember really, wanting to help you and wanting to shift that for you. So we did some
Yeah.
work together with you as my client. I think we did 2 or 3 sessions.
Yeah, I think we did some, I came round and we did some working on my energy, and it was amazing, actually. I really noticed the effects of it. I loved it. Yeah, that was really powerful, and I felt it was really powerful. So I felt like just for once, I just relaxed a bit and felt slightly more confident. So I was happy
to change your confidence then. Remember that?
Yeah, I definitely noticed a change when we were working. I remember one session in particular, I really felt something shifted. I think we did the cutting cords.
To your old partner, if I remember correctly. Yeah,
I think it was like cutting cords to my old relationships, and that really worked for me. I thought that was a real powerful shift. It was really good, that session.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, you had some really strong attachments to your exes because of the children. So
yeah, and I was still being pulled about a bit by them. They were still like very much present in our lives. So I mean, obviously for the children, but I wanted to detach emotionally myself from them.
Yeah,
we did work on that, and that's just one thing that really comes to mind that was really powerful that you did.
Yeah, that's really important just for everybody to know. In relationships, when you are no longer with the person, energetically you can still be with them, and you can even still be energetically married to this person, even though you're divorced physically. So it's really important to energetically break that link. It's cutting cords and also some other things I do to really get people away, and allow, like in your case, allow them to have a fresh start. So that's really important.
Yeah, so we did that, and then you talked about like writing a list of
the list.
So I did go away and do that. I tried to meditate, and I was trying to meditate all the time. It was just difficult. And I wrote a really detailed list of qualities that I wanted.
Remember, like kindness.
Some of them are disclosed, and some I won't, but they were basically, I just wanted to meet my soulmate. I wanted to meet someone that I didn't bicker with. I did someone very calm. In fact, Daniel, my husband, it's like I met the guy on the list. It was amazing.
So good.
It was amazing. So what happened next?
So you made the detailed list, and then if I remember, you were on the fence about going on online dating, and I had a really good feeling about it, and I remember saying something to you like, let's give the universe lots of chances. And that's generally what I tell my clients. If we're guided to do online dating, then that could be the way that he's coming in. I mean, it may not be the case that you're going to meet him another way, or that's the easiest way.
Well, it was the easiest way for me because I was at home a lot with 2 young children.
Yeah, so then that's the way in.
I wasn't going out a lot, so it seemed like, but I was very cautious about it. I'd never done it before, and I didn't really believe in it.
It can really help. There's lots of avenues, and it's nice to be open to all kinds of ways to meet people. So you went online on the site, and
Match.com.
It was Match.com, and you matched right away with a man.
Well, no, first of all, I put my profile up and everything. Yeah. Because I was feeling unconfident. I was like, oh, no one's going to message me, and feeling really rubbish. And I actually got loads of interest initially. So there were, nice. But I was taught, it was very nice, and it was a boost actually. It was quite fun. So I was chatting to different people, and then Daniel actually popped up, and I saw. He said, I can't actually remember, but we had a bit of a chat, and he seemed really nice. But I thought, he's not the type of person that I would go for.
I remember that conversation.
He was quite. He had quite a corporate job, so.
And you're creative, so.
Yeah, so I just didn't. I thought he was very nice, but I thought he's not really my type. But he actually suggested meeting, and I thought, well, because he's not my type, I may as well just get one date out the way, so I become more confident. And so I agreed to meet him, and we went, and I think you maybe did even another session in between to like help with.
You were like, I don't know whether to go because he's not my type, and I was like,
I was convinced he wasn't my type, wasn't I? I was 100%.
But I had good feelings about it.
Yeah, I was convinced.
Yeah.
So maybe you gave me a bit of a session before to give me a bit of courage before, because we had the date arranged.
Yeah, to put your best foot forward and to really be yourself, because so many times when we felt, you know, desperate or like we're not desirable, we can not put our best foot forward on the table.
Well, I definitely didn't feel desperate. I felt nervous about putting myself out there, but I didn't feel desperate because I was convinced I wasn't going to be attracted to him.
Well, that could have been a good thing. You were open.
Yeah, so I was very open. Although, in fact, going back a few steps, I always did think that I would, however unconfident I was, I always did think that I would be with somebody again. I just had that inbuilt belief that I would. So yeah, no, I did always have that, but I was just all over the place. So that was good. But when I went on the date, I was 100% convinced this is just a trial to see what internet dating was like. I'll just have a drink with him. And I even had a get out clause because my friend was going to a night in the same pub to do something different. Yeah, you remember this? Anyway, I had a get out clause, so she was going to come and check if everything was all right, and then I could escape if I needed to. But as it happened, I didn't need to. So we went for the date, and it was when I first saw him, I thought, nah, no, definitely not. And then we sat down and just started chatting.
Definitely not.
He was just absolutely brilliant. And I just really liked him. And he had, because he was from the corporate world, which is completely nothing to do with the world I'm in, which is like design, creativity. That was the bit I thought, that's nice to meet people from different walks of life, but there's no way we will gel at all. But it turns out he really likes the opposite, and I was attracted to that as well. And he did all these other community-based things and had an interest in biking, had all these amazing things that he'd done. So during the course of the evening, he just opened up more and more about himself, and we just really clicked. And my friend kept coming down to say, do you want to come up with us? And I was like, go away. Telling her to go away because we were having such a nice evening. And basically that was our first date. And yeah, to cut a long story short, he is the man that I ended up marrying on my first date. So
I remember you telling me that you were kind of scared at the beginning, and I remember speaking to you about this. And
yeah, it was a long process.
He just kept showing up. He kept being consistent. He kept, showing you that he was such an amazing guy, and you just kept thinking how wonderful he was, like more and more wonderful. Is that how it happened?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, do not judge a book by its cover. Like, obviously we shouldn't anyway, but he is a classic case of that. Like, he was so much more than I first thought. And he just kept revealing what a lovely, kind, caring man he was. We just suited each other. I was flippy all over the place, and he's really just centered and calm and strong, and yeah, perfect match really, I think, although we are completely different.
When you say don't judge a book by its cover, yes. You mean he was corporate, he was in this job?
Yeah, well, I was just I was thinking visually I didn't really fancy him, but now I really I don't mean, he probably thought the same about me. I don't mean to be rude, but he just he wasn't
I was trying to direct it towards
Sorry, Daniel.
Right in there.
Daniel never sees it. I hope he never sees it. I should change it. But he wasn't the type.
You fancy him now, right? You fancy him now. So that's what matters.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I did by the second date, but I'm just saying,
And for those watching in America and the rest of the world, we are in England, and fancy means be attracted.
Oh yes, be attracted to. So I initially was just very blasé about it. I just looking at his picture on the internet dating, I was like, oh well, he's not the type I'll go for, but you know, he seems nice. I could meet him for a drink anyway. But I mainly did it just to get my first date out of the way. So, and then he is actually the man that I ended up marrying. So please give everyone a chance, you know.
So that's a message. That's a take-home message.
That's definitely a take-home message. It's like, I was really lucky, but there was so much more to it. I mean, obviously, until you know someone, you don't know anything about them. But I just had it in my head that he was just going to be somebody I'd have a drink with, and I wouldn't be attracted to, and that would be the end of it. But it just completely turned around.
Decrypting it for everyone else.
Yeah. So he was my first date, and then we had, at the end of the evening, he asked for another date, and I probably can't remember exactly, but I would have gone running back to Kristin, going, oh, I really liked it.
I remember that you did, actually. You were like, oh, I like him, but I'm
so I think you did more work, didn't you, on us as a, you know,
on us as a couple. Allowing it in, allowing the partnership in.
Yeah, so you really did loads. Yeah, I was scared. So yeah, we did lots of work all around that time, didn't we, to do with it.
Yeah.
So I think, thank goodness, really. Maybe I wouldn't have, without doing the things we worked on, maybe I wouldn't have allowed him in. Who knows?
Well, you were quite scared, but then let's talk through. Dated for a few years, like 3 years, if I remember correctly.
Say that again. Sorry.
You dated for like 3 years.
Yeah, so we dated for 3 years, and I didn't even introduce him to my children for probably 2 years. Like I used to go when the children were with their dads. I used to go every other weekend, or every other weekend, maybe a couple, maybe a bit more than that, over to his place in North London, spend the weekend with him. And he didn't come and meet the children for ages because I thought it was all too chaotic already with me having split up from their dad. So I was very keen for them to only meet someone when it was a serious relationship. So we dated like not seeing each other all the time, you know, that really worked. Like he would sometimes I'd meet him in the day. I'd like go over to where he worked and have lunch. And then whenever we could at a weekend when the children were away, I would go over to see him. That went on for about 2 years, and then nearly 2 years, and then he came and met my children, and then he used to come over more, but not loads. I feel like it was very good for everybody the way it panned out. It was very slow. If
I remember correctly, right after you met him, you didn't even go on any other dates because you liked him so much. Just to backtrack.
I never went on another date. So I was incredibly lucky. I was incredibly lucky. Yeah, so he, in fact, my friends were telling me that I should go on other dates. Like various people were saying.
I don't think I was. I think I was.
No, I can't remember. I'm sure you weren't. I'm sure you thought but because there was somebody else that wanted a date at that time with me who seemed nice. After the first date, I just said, no, I'm going to just stop and give this a chance. And that's what I did. So I must have known, mustn't I? Something.
I think you knew, on some level.
Yeah, and all my friends thought I was mad. They were like, "It's your first date. You can't, you can't stop here. Try a few more out." But I just thought, well, why would I? I've met somebody I really like, so that's what I did, and I was correct.
You were right. You knew.
Yeah, that was good. I'm glad I listened to myself then and didn't listen to everyone else, which I do sometimes. Mm-hmm. That was a good move. Yeah. Yeah, so what else happened?
So after you dated in a way that really worked for you both and for your family.
Yeah, well, we had no choice on that because he had a very busy job and and I was looking after the children, and I was just determined I wasn't going to introduce them to anyone willy-nilly. It needed to be somebody I was sure about because they were like my priority at the time and still are. So we dated like that, and then so after 3 years, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, it was 4 years. Yeah, after 3 years, we decided we wanted to move in together. So we were spending more and more time with each other, and we started to look for a house. And that's when we found our house. We lived together for a year. We all moved in together. into a nice big house, and he left North London and came over to South London because my children were at school. And then after living together for 1 year, he asked me to marry him.
Amazing.
Yeah. And I said yes. And we got married. And
was it a romantic proposal? I love proposals.
It was really lovely because I have a caravan on the coast that's like a family caravan that we go down to a lot.
I've seen the picture.
Yeah, so it's lovely. So we were down there. He knew it was a special place for me because it used to be my dad's, and my dad sadly died. And he proposed to me on the beach there. It was really funny because we were walking along to this restaurant, actually along the seafront, and he said to me, Debra, just calm down and look at, isn't it lovely? Isn't the sky lovely? Because it was a lovely sunset. And I was like, I just want to go for a drink and get my dinner. And he's like, just
you cut out. You cut out for a minute. You cut out for a minute. So start again. He was saying, look at the sky, and what happened?
So we were walking along the beach, and he was being a bit romantic, and he's not overly romantic. And I was being all like, I'm really hungry. I can't. And he was saying, just look at this, stop a minute and just look at this moment. Isn't it lovely? Look at the sky. He was being really romantic. And I sort of was looking at him like, what are you talking about? And I just want to get to the restaurant and eat my dinner and have a drink. And he sort of got me by the shoulders and said, just calm down. And then he got down on one knee and pulled out a ring and said, will you marry me?
Amazing. And
I was like, oh, okay, I will calm down then. That was really nice. But what was really funny is, like, before, in the weeks in a good few months, he must have been planning, he was planning it, but in the months leading up, I always wear big rings on this hand, so I've got a whole selection, and they all mean something to me. Like when Daniel and I had our first holiday, I bought a ring, like a really big ring, and I was really upset that they just disappeared. I couldn't find them anywhere. I was really upset, and so there was a whole load of them that had gone missing, and I thought they must have gone missing in the house move. I just couldn't work it out. And then it turned out, and I just kept going on and on, because this beautiful one that I'd bought in Portugal, it was like big solid silver with pearly things, and I loved it. And I was really upset, and then after Daniel had proposed to me, he said, now you can perhaps stop going on about these rings. And he pulled out a bag with all my rings in it. And I was so happy. I was like, really happy about that. And he said, well, are you happy about those, or are you happy about the diamond one I've just given you?
Was he trying to, did he have them for the size?
Yeah, he took them for the size.
Why did he need so many? I don't understand.
There is no reason to it, Kristin. He just took a whole load. He just took a whole load of them and thought that they'd find a happy medium.
He wanted to make really sure he got the right size, right?
He did get the right size, actually. Even though I always wear them on this hand and usually on my middle finger, and this is like obviously my other finger. But he did get the right size. It was perfect, so it worked. So and I got all my rings back, so that was nice.
That's really good.
Yeah, so then we went out and had dinner and phoned a few people, and it was lovely. And then we went ahead and started planning what we were going to do and where we were going to have the wedding. Mm-hmm. We were there at the wedding.
I went to her wedding, yes.
Yeah. And
I danced at your wedding, my friend.
Yeah. It was lovely. We got married at Chelsea Registry Office on the King's Road, nice London wedding. And then we got a double-decker bus over to a place in Balham and had a reception. It wasn't anything fancy, but it was shabby chic, should we say.
I thought it was lovely. And I remember the beautiful sculptures that
the flowers,
from the sculpture that you know.
Yeah, my friend was a florist. She did the flowers, and another friend was a sculptor and did this big sculpture, with all flowers entwined. It was a lovely day.
Really?
I loved it. And then Daniel took me to a really nice hotel in Kensington. I can't actually remember where that hotel was, but it was absolutely beautiful. It's like a real old sort of townhouse hotel. and we had a lovely night there, and then an amazing breakfast the next day. In fact, I remember I didn't eat much of my wedding, so the next day they brought the eggs Benedict breakfast, and it was like the most delicious thing I'd ever eaten. It was so
You're
nice.
like, I'm starving.
I was so hungry. I'll never forget that breakfast. It was like in this beautiful hotel with my beautiful wedding dress on the chair, and then I just had this room service eggs Benedict, and it was delicious. And then we came back to our house, and that's it.
You looked beautiful. I loved your dress.
You what, sorry?
I loved your dress.
Oh, it was lovely. It was like a sort of a 50s shape, wasn't it? It was like 3/4 length, really not too sticky out, but very, very 50s-y style, I think. I love that. I've still got it in my wardrobe. It's lovely.
Oh,
I should put it on my anniversary every year and eat eggs Benedict in it.
That'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
I love that.
So yeah, amazing. And a lot of it, I thank you, Kristin, because you changed quite a lot for me at that time.
You're welcome. I was happy to help. And I think everybody can really take away from the story as well. Just when you get the energy right and you really clear your blocks inside of you to meeting someone, like how quickly and easily it can go. I mean, that was pretty.
You're so right. It's amazing. I really think that was perfect timing, and that I was really ready and deep down believed it could happen.
Mm-hmm. And even if someone didn't believe it, we can help. I can help them, and it can help them too.
Yeah. Well, I think I believed it deep down, but I think what you did is just bring it to the surface. It's almost like you brought that belief out of me, that I would meet somebody and I could be happy, and it could be this amazing new person. And I think you just you opened me up to it. So that was brilliant.
Yeah. And also just helped to shift some of the old low self-esteem and some of the old baggage that was hanging around that was stopping you from creating this beautiful story. I mean, it is a beautiful romantic story.
It's amazing. I know, it's really nice thinking back on it now, because obviously I'm living it. So I'm just like going, do the washing up, do this, do that. I'm caught up in the normal domestic things of life. But actually, it was really romantic, and considering that was considering I've just been on my own and hadn't really dated in those years, so I'd had a good 7 years on my own, apart from me. So that was amazing. And then literally my first date. So I do think it was a thing of perfect timing, of meeting you, being ready, willing to give it a go, and clearing out all the rubbish.
Yeah, what do they say? They say when the student's ready, the teacher appears, which I think is true of life.
So how true is that? You were in the studio opposite me.
Yeah, I mean, when you're ready, the help arrives,
That is so true.
Yeah. So I just think it's really fantastic that you were in this space where you weren't feeling great, you were attracting the wrong kinds of men, you were down, you were having some money issues, and then you had some healing, and you had this romantic, like, fairy tale story, married, first date off of Match, which can happen because when it's right, it just clicks.
Yeah, I don't know what the statistics are on that. How many people do marry the first one or stay with the first one?
I don't know, but I just think in this instance, it was magical. And then your finances turned around as well, because you were really receiving love and energy.
Actually, completely turned around.
Yeah.
For the year after the wedding, and the next few years, actually, like, really, it was incredible. Like, I was really selling loads of designs, and a lot of money was coming towards me again. So it's completely shifted, and touch wood, it's never been I haven't been in that situation again. Obviously we have like ups and downs, but it's nothing like before. It's been amazing. Yeah.
Because when you open up to the energy of love, and you open up to the energy of the universe, and you receive, then the universe wants to give you wants to give you money, love, beautiful things. And so you really opened up and you received. So
no, definitely. And I think like you say, like attracts like. So if you're feeling happier generally, then you're probably going to feel happier. Like Daniel, it also feels happier, although he was in a good situation with his job and finances and everything. He's now he's happy in his home and his love life, so he is happier at work, and it's just it all goes together, doesn't it, really?
Yeah, That's lovely. Really, really good. Do you have any advice for anybody watching this about like their journey? Maybe there's someone who's really trying to meet a partner, you know, in their
My advice is to pretty much don't give up, because definitely don't give up, because with my, you know, I was married before, and we really struggled for years to have my son, Joseph, and ended up having IVF to have him. So I went through years of believing that would never happen, and it did happen. So that's shown me in life that you just need to trust the process. Even though I was going through a hard time in my 40s, I did also believe that something good would happen again, because I knew what I've been through trying to have my son. Again, it happened, you know, it worked out in the end. So I would just say to anyone, pretty much do what I did and go and see an energy healer, clear out your blockages, really work on positive, like I used to read a lot of positive self-help books, like just to get my headspace, the law of attraction. Just believe what you put out, you get back. I really did work on changing my thinking around everything. And then Kristin, then you gave me a boost to be able to do that. So I would advise you to do that. Cut away all your old cords and all your rubbish and everything else that you do for that. Write down everything like I did. Write down what you want with somebody in detail, and really look at it and believe it. And then really just trust that the universe will give it to you. I mean, that's my advice. It worked for me that way. Mm-hmm. But you do sort of have to have when you've been through like 20 internet dates, I guess it's quite hard. I guess it's hard to keep your focus, but there will be one that's there eventually, I believe. Just keep trusting and trying.
That's good advice.
Do you run special love?
I do. I ran one the end of last year, and I'll run another one soon. I'm also going to be introducing an online class to help people find love. So there's lots coming in this. I love working with love.
You're really good at it. That's why.
Thank you. Well, proof is in the pudding. So you've been married for 8 years, right?
Yeah, 7 years.
7 years.
Well, we've been together for 7 years, married for 4.
Okay, great.
Yeah, but I'm not planning on going anywhere.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I look forward to your anniversary parties in the future.
Yeah.
I love helping people find love. It's heart work, you know. It's beautiful. It's lovely to help people find their partner and have fulfillment in this area. And
it's amazing. Important. It's good hearing about because you remind me of how bad it felt. I've forgotten about the hard times now, because once you're in a better situation, you sometimes forget that it was a really tough few years. I really believed I would never meet anybody, and I'm proof in the pudding. It's like it worked, you know, it did work. So just trust it, just trust the process.
Yeah, I agree. And it's good to forget about those times, because they're over, and you know, you met someone now and you have a beautiful life. And you know, one thing we didn't talk about is how good Daniel is with your kids, because that's one thing you never thought could be possible. And
he's amazing.
Family, right?
Yeah, he's amazing with them. I mean, you know, they see their dad, so it's he gets on well with their dad as well. It's like it really works really well.
That.
Oh yeah, definitely. He's just a very calm, like, he's a grown up, you know. He knows how to get on. He understands. He's really great with the kids, actually. He's a great stepdad to them, and he doesn't try to replace their dad. He's just a nice person, and he cares about them, and that's always been absolutely fine. I knew he would be fine. It was me that sort of kept them apart for so long, because I just wanted to be sure. I didn't want to introduce a stream of men into their lives. But that's how I feel about it. Yeah, just too much. But yeah, he's been great. I can't fault him. He's just kind and caring and helps them. So they really like him. You know, it's not a dad replacement. It's like an extra special person that cares for you.
Well, you can't have too much love.
Exactly, it's just a love from a different source. So yeah, it's brilliant. Yeah, and he really cares. Obviously, he's built up a really, especially with my youngest one, who's 14. You know, she's living with him all the time, so they have a great relationship. But we're all quite, within our household, we're quite, you know, Daniel and I are quite independent as well. We're not a couple that sticks together. He's like an introvert, I'm more of an extrovert. So we balance it out. He hides way upstairs and we sort of like roam about the rest of the house. But
So it seems like opposites can really work, you know, because
I think
we're worried about
really
that, but you know, he is quite different than you, but it's harmonious.
Well, don't you think that works though? I think if you
Yeah,
got to
you're very
my first marriage, we were much more like, you know, there was no one was willing to give up. Someone had to get the last word. It was niggle, niggle, niggle.
Yeah.
And it, you know, although he was like a great person, it was just we just weren't suited in that way. And so I personally needed someone to just, if you're having an argument, Daniel will just walk away. He has no intention of arguing. Not that, I mean, sometimes an argument's quite healthy, but Daniel would not have an argument with me. I don't think we've argued at all. They have a discussion, but if I start to raise my voice, or he won't entertain it at all. He's very calm.
That's great.
Yeah, he's a negotiator though, but that's his job. You know, that's what he does all day at work. So he won't. Literally, if I raise my voice, he'll be, I'll talk to you later.
Yeah,
it's like really frustrating, but it's really, it's just calm. So yeah, then I don't have anyone to argue with, so I'll go away and think about it, and then go back and talk. I can come and shout at my computer or something, but nobody will reply. So I don't get any. There's nothing to fight against. So you end up being much calmer.
I think that sounds so compatible, and it just
really compatible. Yeah,
it just reminds me of the truth of what the angels tell me, which is when we ask them, or when we ask the universe for things, anything, a relationship, anything, to always say, bring me this or better, to allow the possibility, because we have free will.
Yeah, or even what's right. Yeah, or even bring me what's right for me. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't always know, do we? I didn't know that it's really great for me to have a really calm person. I would have thought myself that it would be better for me to have an extrovert, you know, lively person, but actually that's not true at all. Like Daniel's a real introvert, but it really works for us.
Yeah, that sounds so compatible. So yeah, it goes to show that when we make these requests, you know, for anybody watching that wants to make their list of what they'd like in a partner, it's really important to, first of all, to focus on, you know, the kind of big ticket qualities like kindness and supportive, and, you know, any deal breaker physical traits, like you have to have someone taller than you, or, you know, whatever is important for you. And then to really just say, bring me what this or better, and what's right for me, like as Debra added, which I love that addition. So
yeah, I don't remember
for my highest good.
Yeah, I don't remember can't remember what I asked for in terms of personality type, really. I don't remember. Yeah, just kind, caring, confident, happy in themselves, good self-esteem. So I all of that came in heaps, really. But
loving. I remember you asking for loving.
Yeah. No, I must have said to the universe, or bring me, you know, whatever you think, because I wouldn't have written exactly the qualities he has, but now they're here, they're so right for me. So
you would have put on your list, bring me this or better, because that's how I do it.
You would have told me to do that.
Yeah. But what I remember about that time as well is just the feeling that I had that you were just done with like the bad boys, or like people that would come in and mess you around. Like you really wanted someone kind and loving, and that was the most important thing.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
That was a sincere request, and that's what arrived.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So you really had your priorities straight as far as wanting someone.
I was ready for a change.
Yeah, someone good for you, not going to waste your time or be dramatic or
be like energy drainers. Like the last one was an energy drainer, so I was exhausted with that. I just didn't want that. I wanted somebody who was like together, like a really together person that was like living a pretty healthy together life.
It feels like your story also can inspire those people who are feeling like you did, like everyone takes from me in partnerships and people aren't there for me, and really move into the belief and energy of a partner contributing to their lives, you know, adding value and making their lives better.
Yeah, well, that's what you want, isn't it? That's what it should be, really. I mean, often it isn't, but you want someone to be like an equal to you, at least. You don't want that. I mean, I didn't want anyone controlling, and I met somebody who's like is a real equal to me, although he has not financially, but everything else, you know. And it balances out really well, all the things. Like he's in a better place financially, but it's shared, and then I do much more in our home as creating a family and making it. We have our roles that we play, but they work for us. They might not work for everybody, but it's whatever works for you, isn't it, really? You just have to, but just be open. My advice is to just be open, because as I say, when I went for the first date with Daniel, I was just thinking, he's not, you know, definitely not the type I would go for. Hello, here I am married, you know. Just be open.
Isn't that interesting that you were open and you were just giving it a go, and the universe, like, it's funny how if you just open up to your highest good, it finds its way to you.
Yeah, it really does.
You know,
it's amazing.
It finds its way, and it will come to you, even if you're like, oh, he's not for me, or, you know, is this just a trial run?
Yeah, it's almost like it's playing a game with you, going, haha, well, let's see.
I'm coming in anyway.
I think he is for you, actually. Yeah, it's almost like, yeah, it's really interesting.
And what else is interesting is how good healthy feels. I mean, what you described, the relationship you described, is very healthy and very good for you, and it feels good. So
yeah. I mean, I wanted somebody that wasn't a drinker or used drugs or any bad things. I just wanted nothing like that. And Daniel maybe has one glass of red wine every 3 days or something, and that's about it. Like,
you just got what you wanted.
I literally, on that respect, that was a really big one for me, because I grew up in a family with an alcoholic step-parent, and I always hated it. So I definitely didn't want that. That was a clear thing on my list. And Daniel just doesn't do any of it. He's not interested in alcohol. It's like sometimes they go out and have a night where you drink, but no, really, it's not a big deal. So that was great. So we're pretty healthy, yeah. And also he does his biking and everything. So I say we're really healthy.
That's lovely.
Great. Yeah.
And it also shows the audience as well that someone can come from a challenging background. You said you grew up with in an alcoholic household. So,
yeah.
And still create something beautiful and healthy in your own life.
Yeah. Well, that's a long time ago, but yeah, well, everybody can do that. I think there is a way. It's just finding your way.
Yeah.
And I was, I'm obviously divorced, so I wanted my children to be happy and for that not to affect them. And I think we've worked really well together, my ex and myself, and to make that work, really. So it does work, I think. We're all friends, and the children see their dads. It's all friends. So yeah, it's good.
Great. Well, is there anything else you want to share with the audience?
Not really. I think I've shared my life.
I think you have. And thank you so much for being open and for telling us your story. I'm sure that you'll inspire a lot of people.
Oh, I hope so. Sorry about the jittering, but yeah. I'm not very good on camera, but anyway, hopefully
you've been wonderful.
Oh, thank you. Well, thank you to you, and I hope you can help lots of other people.
I hope so too. We'll see, and I'm sure the interview will inspire people. So let's give some gratitude to Debra Scrivener from London, who is in London and joining us. And thank you, Debra.
Thank you.
See you. Have a lovely day. See you soon.
Yeah. Thanks. Bye.